We're still talking about the financial services sector. One piece of news item that was trending at the time but got lost in a whole milieu of information that hit the newswire was the fact that the Central Bank of Nigeria gave all banks in the country a deadline to set up an electronic fraud desk to help reduce the amount of fraud cases that keep coming up. But in all of the other issues that came up, that story got lost. But talking about it this morning with me is a cyber crime security consultant, Ralph Ibekwe. He joins me from our Abuja studio. Good morning, Ralph, and thank you so much for joining me.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
So let's just quickly get your perspectives on cases, e-fraud cases that seem to be on a rise. According to investigation, a total of about 199 billion naira was lost to e-fraud between 2000 and 2014, and that's just the cases that get reported. There's some that never ever get reported, or nobody ever attends to.
Actually, we are lucky now because the past administration of Jonathan Goodluck signed into law the Cybercrime Act of 2015. It received accent on the 15th of May before he left the office. And this law, the act, requires all banks to take records of every of their customers that have an account with the bank, and regarding online banking and online transactions. So this act has a specific requirement for banks to keep these records. But although there are some issues regarding this, the law, because we don't have any law on the management of the information. So it's a different thing to require the banks to keep records of this information and then hand it over to the appropriate authorities. But it's another as well to manage this information. So these are issues that keep on arising regarding the new act. And most of the banks, most of their employees do not really know what are required of them in the act and the provisions thereof.
Which is the reason why...
That's where we're coming.
Which is the reason why the Central Bank of Nigeria gave the directive that banks should set up e-fraud desk. Now, in setting up this e-fraud desk, who should man it? Should it be staff from the banks, or should it be staff from the ICT sector?
Yes, the banks are required under the law to set up this desk, and the banks are supposed to collate this information themselves and then forward it to the appropriate authorities. So the bank have these responsibilities. They should have a record of they should keep a record of all the e-fraud, and because now there are so many, because of the online banking and the IT world taking over everything, all aspects of our lives. So it's easy. Somebody commits a crime within a click of a mouse is already taken off into another jurisdiction where you can't reach him. So in order to take a record of all this information, the banks are actually required themselves to keep record of all these transactions and all these crimes. Then they should now pass it on to the appropriate authorities for record purposes.
To achieve that, do you think the banks need to invest more in technology or in skilled people?
Obviously, these are two issues that we can't deal without. These issues work both hand in hand. The appropriate man management system and also investing in the IT sector. So these are two issues you can't deal without. So they should invest in the IT, trying to upgrade their IT system, and also trying to also invest in their man management system. So these are two issues that work hand in hand, and you can't really take one off from the other. And in order to decipher what one actually entails, both has to work hand in hand.
So, in other words, focusing now on that technology aspect, we know that banks, so most of the banks actually have firewalls to protect against phishing attacks and fraud, people trying to steal data. But there's been talk that some are still not handling customer data with care. They're still reckless in terms of handling customer data. What more do you think, from a cybersecurity expert's point of view, what more do you think can be done to ensure that customers' data is safe?
First of all, we have to have, there should be a law on data protection. Because if I'm passing an information to my bank, I expect it to be in good hands. The age we are in now is all about information, it's all about data. Data management it entails a lot of money, it entails a lot of people make millions of it. In Europe, some people pay pay people in order to take this information. These are very, very important information. They are very, very critical. Somebody that has your address, your date of birth, can assume your identity, take off mortgage in your name, buy houses, buy cars in your name. So these are informations we provide every day to the bank. But there is no data management laws in the country. So first of all, our legislatures has to make laws on data management, information management. How do you do this? Because it's not all about asking the banks to keep this information. How do you safeguard them? So somebody should take responsibility for that. Somebody actually should stand up and say, we have a law on this. Until there is a law on information and data management, it will be very, very difficult to require these banks to collect this information and send it to some other person. The person you are sending it to, I have to be sure that those information and those data are managed appropriately. In countries like UK, America, they have data management systems. They have data management laws. And there are things you have to do, there are procedures you have to follow in order to release an information. Although we have information, there are some laws regarding information. But data is very, very important. It is very, very important regarding the issues of identity theft, issues of somebody taking up your identity, somebody stealing information. Because people now, just a click of the mouse, this information moves from one country to another, from one continent to another. And most of these criminals, you can't really get them because they use some very, very cunning techniques whereby they can use a computer, another person's computer. He is even innocent of the crime. The computer might be a robot and they will use it and be committing the crime. So,
well, thank you so much. Well, thank you so much, Ralph, for joining me on the program this morning and sharing your perspectives with us.
Oh, thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
So to combat the e-fraud menace, there needs to be data management law. The CBN should galvanize banks to get better solutions to deter e-frauds, and banks should invest more in technology. And of course, investing in technology should also go hand in hand with investing in the manpower, and banks must take up consumer protection very seriously. Well, that's the program for today. Many thanks for spending time with us. I'm Harriet Agbinyi. Bye-bye.